In this video we're going to talk about Genie Motion for Eclipse. This is an alternative AVD, Android virtual device, for Eclipse. And the thing is, with the Android virtual device that's supplied with the Android developer tools, using Eclipse, they can be a bit buggy, and it needs that Hacksum tool, which I discuss in a separate video, to get some speed and so forth. So lots of people do have problems, and Genie Motion is a great alternative. Firstly, it's very fast, it's much faster, and it's got a lot better options of configurability and so forth, and it doesn't use Hacksum, which is a big thing. So what I'm going to do is show you how to get Genie Motion working with Eclipse. Now this is useful because later in the course anyway, when we move to Android Studio, we're going to be sort of focusing more or less exclusively on Genie Motion. So let's get into that now. Firstly, here I am in the course. I'm in section 13, Android Studio. There's videos already here on how to install, download and install Genie Motion, both for Mac and Windows. So I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm going to assume that you've already downloaded that, you've created your account at Genie Motion, and you've got it installed on your computer. So do that first. Once that's done, let's continue and get it configured and working. So what we need to do is we need to do a search, because there's a couple of steps involved in getting it to work in Eclipse. The quickest way is just type in Genie Motion Eclipse and just take the first link there. This goes to the Genie Motion site, and I've got some tips on what you need to do to get it working for Eclipse. So we'll just do a bit of a search for Eclipse. And you can see here Genie Motion plugin for Eclipse. And they're giving you two methods to install it, either the automatic way recommended, the update site method, or you can do it manually, which we don't want to do. So to do it automatic or using the update site method, we're going to do it from Eclipse. We're going to make sure Eclipse is running. That's running okay. And going back there, it shows you what to do to make sure that you type help, install new software, and click add. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to copy this link, which I'll need on that other screen. So I'm going to go to help, install new software. I'm going to go over here and click on add. Name, Genie Motion. I'm going to paste in that link. And of course that link is the one that I've just got off their page. Okay, so I'll do that. Then in Eclipse again, click OK. You can see that's pending. I'm going to select it. Click on next. Click on next again. Need to accept the license agreement and click on finish. Now remember, this is just a plug-in for Genie Motion. You still need to have Genie Motion installed on your computer for this to work. I've already done that in a previous step, so that's why I'm not doing that again in this video. So you can see it's downloading and configuring it. And it comes up with a warning about unsigned content, so that's really just there in case you're downloading code that you don't know where it's from, to make sure it doesn't do anything bad on your computer. In this case, we can trust these guys. They're very reputable, so I can click on OK. Need to restart Eclipse. Yes, we'll start. Restart, I should say. Now, once it's restarted, which it has now, you can see we've got this extra little icon. That's the Genie Motion icon. The first time you go into that, you can either click it on there, and it's going to come up and say the Genie Motion directory is not set. Please click OK to set it. Or you can either go to the Eclipse menu and select Preferences, and I think it's the Windows menu and Preferences on a PC. And there's an option for Genie Mobile. And that's the one we want. So what you have to do the first time, you need to specify where Genie Motion is installed. So on a Mac, I can just click on Browse. I can go to my applications. I can just sort them alphabetically. And go to Genie Motion. Now that's all I have to do for a Mac. Click on OK, and that's sort of given it access to that location. So once I do that, well, actually before I do that, I'll just go back to the instructions, but it does talk here also on what you need to do for Windows as well. Using the plugin, there's an option there. It says that's the folder that you'll basically specify in that field. C:\program files /Genie Mobile, Genie Motion, and that is case sensitive, I believe, as well. So that's what you do for Windows. So assuming you've done that, we've now got this configured. So if we click it again, This time we'll get a different menu, and what it's done, it's gone in and found the emulators, the Genymotion virtual devices that I've already configured and I'm using on this computer. So if you've got nothing in here, you still need to go about configuring them. And again, refer to the Genymotion videos for that. But in this case, I'm going to select Lollipop Preview, click on Start, and that starts the Genymotion virtual device within Eclipse. You can also start it outside of Eclipse if you prefer, but it's probably a good idea to start it in this environment as well. So you can see that starting now. Okay, so you can see that booted up quite quickly, so that's now working. So now we should be able to go back here, and if we do a refresh, you can see now it's got an IP address because it's connected to the internet, and the state is now on. So it's obviously working and it's found it. So as far as the plugin is concerned, it's communicating with Genymotion fine. So if I close that down now, I should be able to run this on the emulator. Now you can see it's come up with Genymotion Lollipop Preview, which is what the name of the one that of the virtual device I created. Click OK. And I've got my Hello World app on there. So you will find that Genymotion is a lot faster in general. It doesn't need Hexam. And the other thing I recommend you do is if you're not going to be using the Android virtual devices and you have installed Hexam, you should uninstall that. So to do that, you can do another search and uninstall Hexam Mac. I'm going to show the Mac version first, because the reason you want to uninstall it is it's going to clear up some of that memory, because Hexam will take between 500 meg to 2 gigabytes depending on how you've configured it of memory. So you may as well get that space back if it's going to be sitting there unused. So I've just selected the first link from Intel. If I do a search for uninstall, it gives me the command line there. It'll come up like that. So I'm going to copy that entire line there, and I've copied that. Now I need to do a command space and type terminal. I'm going to paste that in. It's going to ask for my current password. It says this will remove it. Are you sure? Yes, we're sure. Removing, and it's been uninstalled. So that's how to delete it from the Mac. And then to delete it from Windows, it's much easier actually. It's just, I think it's from the command, from control panel. But if you just do a search for uninstall Hexam Windows, and obviously I'm running this video on a Mac, so I can't show you how to do it, but if we just do that search, as I've said, uninstall. To install Intel Hexam, run the installer again, so you can just do that, or use the control panel. So there's obviously an option in the control panel to disable it. So make sure that if you've got Genymotion working, that you do that. The last thing before I finish is what I recommend you do before you do any uninstalling. Make sure you have got Genymotion working, like I showed in this video first. You don't want to uninstall it and then find that Genymotion doesn't work for some reason, and then you've just sort of wasted your time. Okay, so I'll leave it there for now. If you've got any other questions, as always, let me know in the discussion area, and I'll see you in the next video.